really don't belong. I can't explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, that when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? Hello, darlings. Welcome back. Even though at the moment there is nobody here but myself and I. And this piece of foam is going to become the template for my next purse. Because I don't want to make a flap on this one, because I want it to be a 3D flower on a vine. So the vine will go through the sides, but I don't have to have this for a flap. I could make it one solid color on one side. Okay, well, I need a second template. So we're going to have the purse, it's got to be at least this much open. Now it is going to shrink. All right, let's not take too much off it. If it's too far off, the flower will not be centered. And I want to make a 3-layer flower. So are we following the same piece of bamboo here? Roughly. Oops. Ugh, Sharpies stink. Honestly, I love their color selection nowadays, but the fumes from Sharpie got to be causing brain damage somewhere along the line, or liver damage. It's like I can still smell that, feel it. We really need to be more careful about what we put in our environments. I say buyer beware. Basically, use it at your own risk. We're not responsible. Okay, so if this is, I'll put the center here, but I have to have the flower on top. I need a big pad about this. That could be perfect. All right, let's call it that. And be handy if it transfer, huh? Nope. Too bad. So that circle is so I'm reminded of where my design is. This is going to be 2 sides of a flower, or I say 2 leaves of a flower. It'll be done separately from this and then attached to the center of that. I was going to go ahead and try and do all the layers directly on here. The more I thought about it, it seemed like I was unnecessarily complicating things. If you're doing it like flaps, it's one thing, but when you're doing circles, I don't know, there might be an easy way when it comes time. But I think I'm going to do it the same way I did my first flower, three-layer flower, because it came out so good. Everybody just flipped out over it, which to me is a good sign. Let me make sure I've got this. Nope, look at that. See, off center. We're going to redraw that. Which one do I want? That looks weird. Come on, we have to make sure it's centered right from the start, or it's going to look really stupid. No, you're not perfectly centered. No, that is the better one. Okay, it's this one. Okay. Well, you have to start with the first layer. So let me get set up for that. I wasn't sure I would finish the template. I couldn't settle on a design in my head after contemplating a few things today. So I think I'll do the, well, maybe I better make sure I've got enough wool for this to start, because we need the right colors for the flower, the center. Not worried about the green, because I'll be making that all separately. But I will be making some leaves, but we're going to add them on after the flowers are done, or the flower is done. The three-layered flower. Okay. Looking around. Bubble wrap. We need the bubble wrap. And actually, before the bubble wrap, we need the wool. I have some gorgeous wool on order. I don't think it's going to be here in time for me to do this project. That's so good today. All right, so let's see what we have. Some beautiful oranges, pinks. I definitely want my pinks. Yellow. Okay. So the wool for this project, I'm going to stick over here. I think I better clean the Sharpie off the rim before I get all over my hands. Something I did a little earlier. Recycling. Yes, what ended up on me. And So, let's take a look. We need the yellows for the center. And I don't want to go bright. I like the sunshine kind of color, and I just ordered some more, which I think will be probably very much like this. So that's not going to take a whole lot, but yeah, best have it handy, right? Reserve it for this project. Now, I already decided the back of this purse is not going to be anything but, you know, just pinks, the whatever colors I end up with for the petals. Oh, that's so pretty. And we're going to, I think, use that maybe a little on the outside of the petals. Oh, these colors are just so delicious. Okay, we have this rose, which is very pretty. And let's see, we've got this fiery red. Now I have to think about it, because this is going to be worn. Let me see what pinks I have. We needed to go with pinks. And the pinks are right here. I ordered a couple of colors in this family, but I will see what gets here. Okay, I definitely want some of this beautiful baby pink. This is not enough to use on its own, but I think edges might look good. This, I think, compared to that, is going to be a little too intense. So we're going to put this back in the reds. And let's move closer to the pinks. And we've got a beautiful raspberry. Oh, that is so nice. Might be a little too purpley. Although, as we're doing this, basically it's going to be kind of like watercolors. Putting a little bit of here and there might be just right. Well, okay, we'll keep it handy. But we've also got this direction. Oh yes, isn't that beautiful? I definitely want some of that. I think I just ordered that. A whole ounce. I think we're going to not do the purple. We do need plenty of that. Flower, 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 flower. Maybe. Never hurts, I guess, to find a way to sneak a little purple in there, lavender. Let's see which one. Oh, too blue. Too late. You know, I think I'm going to keep it handy. I'm going to do an experiment first. Yes, that is what we will do. Now, this is not going to have embellishments in the same way my first two purses did. I want this to be all about the color and the shape, and maybe I should do two of these. Well, one at a time, right? I keep smelling something burning. No, I'm not cooking. But I do have the windows open. Okay, so when we lay everything down, once we have the felt in place, then we put this on top and soak it and work it. Now, because this is really thin, it'll felt up really easily. As long as I keep the layers very thin, and we will. So let's see. I'm going to want just a little bit of this yellow in the center, because I will be cutting a hole in the center, and we're going to build up the center of the flower from the base layer. So this is going to have a flower on it. It'll be like the first layer of the flower. But instead of making it 3D, it's going to just be needle felted in on top of the wet felt. It should look cool, like I did the other flower, which I'll bring to the table. The center of this will be built up like a button, and then this is going to become two layers. They're going to be felted together, and then they get felted onto here. So we get the three-dimensional. I just have to see if some weird thing is going on here smoke-wise. No, everything looks fine. Mystery smells can be unnerving. So this is a 3D, three-layer flower, which was wet felted and then needle felted into place. So the base is going to have this, although now that I know what I'm going to be working toward, it's going to be better. This is my first one, and the first one's always the one you work out all your problems on, or with. So yeah, I love how this came out. And the nice thing about working with wool, it likes to hold a shape. It has memory. As long as you keep working it, it'll try to hold that shape until you squash it. So the nice thing about that too is if I squash this in like a suitcase, I could revive it with a little moisture and massage. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of this in the center because I want it to kind of radiate outward. And the way to make this work the best is to keep everything really, really cloud-like to make the best bonding. In fact, let me just put that in the center. So this is merino wool, and it has a very fine staple, very long hair. And that's wonderful for a lot of projects, but you have to be able to get these super cloud-like and then overlap. Thank you. It's so soft. It's kind of like playing with air. Okay, then we have to go back over the comb. Now you can see it's already building up here. And this is just because we want a little bit of this yellow into the center of the flower. We're not going to have that, I don't think I'm going to have that on the other side. And, way too much. And then I'm going to bring this back across. And we're going to get some soapy water right now because it's so full of static. It just wants to fly off the table. Now, and it's wet, you can see the yellow, right? It was kind of invisible when it was just floaty. Now, in this case, I don't really want this wrapping around to the other side. So I will be wiping my hands. And clipping some of this off. We're going to have plenty to wrap around. I just don't want the yellow at that top point of the other side because that's going to be visible, very visible. Now this is how you know it's real wool. A little bit of soap and water and you can turn this into a little ball, which synthetics do not do. Synthetics will roll and roll and roll and just kind of become dry. And then fall apart. Now this, even though this is not going against the skin, this is one of the micron sizes of wool that are really good against the skin for being soft and smooth. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of yellow down, and we really don't need to go too crazy with that at this point because at the end I'll be using needle felting to bring up highlights and help give a shape to the petals. Okay, but I do need pink. We're going to be layering this, so again, we can mix up our colors. They're going to blend together as it's felted. Now this, all of these colors right now, what you're looking at are sample sizes. So samples are treated differently according to who got what to work with, I suppose. And sometimes they cut them and they're kind of short. So you always have to explore what you get by mail. The exceptions being more reputable places where you have a store name like Living Felt or Serafina Yarns. Now Serafina is deep into 3D, sculptural felting, and they give classes, and basically you learn how to make stuff from kits, and they'll sell you the kit, of course, which is, we have to support our arts some way. So you do the stuff at home, and I'm sure by video and photographs, they can see that you know what you're doing, and by the finished product, if you want to make a realistic looking German Shepherd, then it better look like a German Shepherd. That's not a question. And the work from Serafina is, man, you swear those dogs are about to bark. They have all kinds of animals and little wizards, and also just the caliber of the artistry involved. You need to go there, check it out, Serafina. Just search it on YouTube here, and you will be blown away by their stuff. You want to see more about felting? Look at 2D/3D art, Serafina, and it'll show you a contest they just had with all of the people who, I guess, applied and won. Truly inspiring work. We will be pulling these apart. I just need to make sure I've got enough here for the 5 petals. Okay, we have 5 petals. Now, this we will be overlapping. Hey, come back. Oh, don't you do that. Excess. Yes, I talk to my art supplies. Okay. Remember, you have to do it in layers so that it has something to knit to. So you go horizontal, vertical, and horizontal again, or vice versa. Either way. Now, we're going to add some glow. Add some coral for this last layer because it's going to be the center with the yellow blob. And also, it's an experiment. Because the worst that'll happen is I will learn about this particular color combo. The best that'll happen is I'll end up with the flower that I would like on my purse. Okay. You are getting very fluffy. This is a gorgeous color. I have to get it to cooperate. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. It's so beautiful. I never would have pegged me for this hobby in a million years. Oh, until I saw what it was and went, ah, yes, that's for me. Okay. Now it's time. And I forgot to put a towel down underneath this. So let us fix this before I get too deep in water. Stay right there. Thank you. Don't go anywhere. We're going to use you soon. Okay, now we make some serious sides. I like to work with the foam. And you press it down lovingly from the center out. And very gently, because you don't want to disrupt all the hair you just laid out. And it takes a few minutes, but it will start to knit itself if you're sweet to it. And now I'm liking the color I'm seeing here. And now also you see the way this is spread out past the template, because it's going to be wrapped around to the other side. So first you soak it and you gently touch it like a good cat. But then you have to press the air out so that you're really sure the fibers are touching each other and not floaty. A little float to start is fine, and then you gotta get more assertive with it. Now, if I get too assertive or too long when doing this, it's gonna start to come through the net because it's gonna try and felt with it. And we don't want to go that far. But we are going to call upon a piece of bubble wrap I misplaced. Hold on. Here you. No, you're not the one. Oh, that'll work. A smaller piece will be easier to work with. Anyway. Okay. So now we see where we're at here. I'm just going to splash it a little more before we take it off. And then we peel it back. Stay put. Thank you. This is overkill. Back in the bathtub you go. Okay. Now I want to be careful not to bend this very, very thin template. Stay. See, it's already growing affectionate for it. And we just flip it over. I'm going to go toward the middle very gently. I find this a little easier to do when you're working with angles and you can bring the plastic up. Or I guess I can do just next time I'll use a sturdier template material. And there's that beautiful coral starting to mix with this pink. That is going to be every bit as gorgeous as I planned. After discovering some shades of roses that my first husband and I grew, excuse me, in California, I've had a thing for these any flower that is pink to peach or peach to pink, they just have a glow. In fact, I think peach glow might have been the name of some tulips I planted with that. Okay, that's a little long. And so are you. I don't want it to get too thick because I have to lay over more felt on this side, obviously. It is, after all, a two-sided flower, and this is going to be 2 flowers, not one. Well, 2 flower layers that are going to be reversed and knitted together to make one. So let's now this later on is going to be cut down because the petals, I'm not making individual petals, I'm making a disc, and I will be cutting the petals like I did for this, because these 2 layers, the petals would have been identical in size, but I cut them separately so that there would be a difference, and I also shaped them differently to make a difference. Okay, so let's take some more of this charming pink for the first layer. Now, when I went shopping for yarn yesterday, I could have just kept going, but I didn't want to drain my entire bank account in 1 month. Also, I've got to see what 1 ounce of one color looks like, because there's a storage issue in a tiny apartment like mine. Of course, I am using this. I'm using it, so that's a good thing. But I fell in love with, they've got over 50 colors, I think 52 colors, something like that. And I, well, you know, typical artist, I have to have one of everything, every color. That's the only way to go. It's also the expensive way to go. So I could not buy one of each, even if I wanted to, because a lot of the colors were back ordered in different sizes, different microns. And what I wanted, a few of the colors were out. So my llama wool is going to wait a little longer until I can get their exact right color, chocolatey brown. To work with it. I'm also contemplating using it to create a silhouette of a llama in lighter colored wool, because I think that would just be too cute. Now I've never like petted a llama, and I've only seen them from afar. And although I hear they're sweet creatures, I have not had an urge to own any. But they are adorable up close. Their faces are adorable. And I think they've got a silhouette that most people would recognize as, oh, that's a llama. And if I can find one that looks like, oh, that's a llama, I might try that, just to use the llama wool in a more obvious way. Like, well, if you like this beautiful brown, it's different from the rest of the wool, eh? It's a llama. Okay, we have our hot pink. And now, oop, not you yet. You're last. I was trying to remember what kinds of different fibers we could work with, and then I suddenly flashed back to when I was a teenager, and I got gifted for winter a camel hair maxi coat, and I really liked it that it was maxi because I was so skinny the wind went right through me, so it was good. But I remember looking at it over and over and over, and it's like, how did they make this? It's not knitted, it's not woven. I finally realized it was felted. Pretty much a bigger model of what I'm doing today. Nope, you're too floofy that way. Straighten out. You're not floofing enough. Wait a second, it's got a piece of grass in it from some faraway place where there are sheep, naked and cold. No, actually, I watched sheep being sheared, and they put blankets on them right away so they don't catch a chill if they lose all their wool. Now, I have been playing a video game called Township lately, and they have sheep that also wear blankies after you gather the wool. It's adorable. But they do stand there shivering until you feed them, and then they instantly get a coat back. It's adorable. Oh, such a pretty color. Now, I am making this flower purse specifically to go with my new mint green dress. It's not a fancy dress, and this will not be a fancy pocketbook, but it is, alas, one that has no pockets. And anyone who knows me knows how I feel about no pockets. So now that I know how to felt, I'm making fancy pockets. Just a wee bit more. I think that will do it. We'll know for sure after I get this somewhat felted, and then I can hold it up to the light and see how we did. So let's get squashy. Ooh, look at that. You are a little rosier right there, aren't you? But that's okay. It's actually kind of soothing, even though my hands normally can't handle many different textures. They just go crazy. But I found even on bad days like that, I can just put my gloves that I use for painting, and it's good enough. Come on. Behave yourself. Stay down. Okay. Now the cool thing about this is as it all gets felted into one fabric, the colors work through each other to give the petals lots of different hues. So we have 3 colors getting combined in a way a little bit like paint, but each color retains its own personality at the same time. It doesn't just become something different. Okay. I think I'm going to throw a little coral down on this that doesn't go over the edge. Because I want to make it clear where the petals are. And that's all I'm doing. This is going to be a highlight because this is the end of this color. I'm hoping I ordered this. You can't be sure because when I got these, they had no names. So I just ordered an ounce of coral, which looked like this as far as I could tell, but like I said, until you get it, you can't be positive. Got a couple of cool greens, a moss green and an ivy green. So they both look like natural greens that you find in nature. And that's what I'll be preferring for finishing up this project. Okay, so let's see, let's go with a tend your flower. Flower of the hour. Behave. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. It's better. A little bit. Okay. Let's get these embedded. Okay, I will get this felted before the end of the session. And we're going to get to use this for the first time. Now you notice this is on bubble wrap because the bubbles act like other fingers underneath it. Although I'm a little sloppy about it today. Got it between the net instead of between the plastic. But we'll be moving it in just a minute. Just to make sure we have, yep, say it's not matted down yet. Let's get that fixed. I don't mind some movement because the way it's going to swirl. Whoop, whoop, get back. Okay. And now, you go over there and you come over here and dry my hands. Okay, so the secret is agitation and pressure. So let's see how this works. I could put this on a towel, but what I want to do first is just get the water squeezed out of it. Doesn't it sound like it's talking to you? Go for it, go for it, go for it. No, I shouldn't do that to you. Putting things in your head. Now I said back off. I'm joking. It's happening. Okay, I guess the way to do this after I get this better done is to put it right there and squeeze out all of it. Now this is going to become 2 discs of felt. They're very thin, easy to manipulate felt. So I'm just holding it up to see where there are empty spaces, and there aren't any. It looks like I did a pretty good job. Okay. Well, that's the first time for everything. Let's keep fingers crossed. Now, one of the reasons people like this is because it squeezes all the water out. Not sure yet. It's quieter than doing it in bubble wrap. I do like that. Now I ordered a large size mat. Yeah, we're starting to felt up. Until when it starts getting stretchy, that's just before it starts shrinking. But I think I'm a little nervous about just using that by itself. We're going to go back to this for a bit. I'll just use the mat to add some extra texture from behind. And some tea. I love my tea, especially late in the afternoon. And I see there's a note. Somebody sent me a message. We lost a family member and I've been waiting for more information. Oh. Some grumpy possums, it looks like. Okay, my sister sent me something amusing, but I will look at that later. Right now, it's this. Oh yeah, I forgot to check my steps. When you do this, boy, your steps go up. Almost there. You're supposed to count this. And it ranges from 40 in each direction for a total of 800 rolls to 100 in each direction for about 1,000 rolls. I guess it just depends on how thick your item is and all that. Like when I did the purse, the last purse I made extra thick. So that required some extra rolling. This is as thin as I can make both sides. So we will see how this goes. Now, there are some serious felters who use mechanical means. They use a sander, hand sander. I would never use that for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't want to use any big machinery, and I don't want any more electric use. For my hobby, I want it to be as close to, well, the way we always have felted things. But using plastic wrap and stuff like that, that's speeding up the process of letting the felt fall to the floor and just mat itself with water over time and footsteps. You know, camel hair was a very popular, basically felted camel hair was very popular wool back in the day, and expensive. So I don't know if it was the expense that made it fall out of favor or something else. Usually when something disappears, it's a political thing or a danger, and it has to come out that it's a danger and everything comes off the market. And I don't think camel hair would qualify for that unless they were killing the camels, in which case, yes, I would definitely not use camel hair if it cost the life of the camel. The whole idea of having wool and stuff is like you can just shear it without hurting the animal. So this is, I like the coral here. We'll know better what it's going to look like, I think, after I wash it. But right now, nope, still too early to hand felt. That last bit that I added is not all the way felted, so Back to the rolling. Again, go with a little texture. Magic fingers. Or magic bubbles. Used to think magic bubbles was just what you got in champagne or Calgon bath soap. That's doing better. Do it, keep going. I need music to do this too. Hello, Peter. How's Spidey today? Are you into felting? It's my latest passion. Nope, that's still not done. I could needle felt that in, or actually, because it's this side, I could cut it. But I think I will just wait. Let's see what we're doing here. Each side is the inside of a flower, so there'll be changes. I'm making a felted flower kind of like this, but it's going to be the front of my new purse. I'm designing my own pocketbooks. Alright, some weird sounds. Thank you. I really enjoy this art. And I'm definitely invested now. Okay. Oh, you're into it? A little bit? When I saw the, I was looking up needle felting because a couple of my friends took it up. And in researching whether I wanted to try that or not, I came across wet felting and went berserk. It's like, this is it. This is what I want right here. I love the felters online, and I've been watching videos from all over the world. I'm not into doing little animals and things like my friends are. I want everything I do to be wearable. Like right now, I'm fighting dresses that come with no pockets. Particularly frustrating because women wear dresses and we need pockets, and most of our dresses do not contain pockets. Same thing with our blouses and half our pants. So I decided to make my own pockets and then pocket books to replace pockets. So I just bought this mint green dress for summer, and I love this dress. Very simple and plain, but no pockets. So I decided I'm going to make a flower bag, and I'm going to make the strap a vine with leaves. Do you have a preference? Needle felting versus wet felting, or do you like both? Both. Me too. I mean, I like to use the needle felting to finish. Were you in the rafters when I made my last two purses? My last one's actually in the bedroom waiting to be ironed. So I'm not getting it right now. But I am having a blast. No. I got some of these outrageous yarns, but they're synthetic, so they don't felt. But you can needle felt them in, and also anchor them with the wet felting. And that's what I did with those first two purses. But this one is just going to be wet felted with the minimal. I can't say minimal. The leaves and the stuff like that are going to be needle felted as well. Like this flower, it was wet felted in 3 layers and needle felted together. But the top 2 layers I actually wet felted together, so they're really solidly joined before I joined them to the base layer. Oh, now they're soapy. Okay, this is felting up nicely. When I join these, it's going to have a yellow center to join it to the pocketbook, which is going to be like that. And the flower is going to be like that, except this layer is going to be the purse. I don't want everything sticking out too far. So So I am psyched. And I've got a couple of friends who are super into Halloween like I am. Actually, they're even beyond me. And I've been wanting to make them something special. So their anniversary is coming up. I'm not going to have time to make it in time for their anniversary, but I'm going to make one a bat and one a black cat, but as pouches. So yeah, I'm having fun. My favorite pastime besides eating. Okay, we are going to try rolling it around again. Now, after what I paid in shipping for this last order of yarn, or wool rather, I hope it's worth it, because the shipping cost almost as much as the whole batch of yarn. Enjoy, enjoy. Thank you for stopping by. Stay groovy. And thank you for saying goodbye instead of just wisping away. Streaming on YouTube is way different from all the other stations I stream from. To whoever's left in here, hi. And every time I change stations, I lose my followers because not everybody wants to leave. Well, like, I don't know, I had 1,700 people on Twitch, and then came here and went down to, you know, like nothing. So I start over again. And until I have 1,000 subscribers, I'm limited on being able to do videos on my phone, or how it's done. So I guess I should be more interested in asking people, oh, please subscribe to this channel. It's free. I don't know. I always feel like things like that are begging. And I'm not monetizing ever, so, you know. Am I getting too rough with you? Well, we're getting a little bit of not felted there. I don't want to overfelt it because I got a needle felt in it too, so maybe I should stop right here. Okay, let's do this. Move this over. And I think it's time to make the cut. So I'm going to go wash this first. So let me write that down, because if somebody walks away from their computer and they come back and there's nothing going on, you might think I'm gone. Come back. Back in a minute. rinsing. Flour. I'll be back. Okay. The rest of the felting has to happen inside out, which means I have to cut it and remove the plastic inside it. And that starts with finding the edge. And carefully making sure I get all the layers on the inside and the plastic. So we can remove the plastic, which in this case is a super thin sheet of foam, the kind used to cover digital equipment when it's being packed up for sale. Now, I don't have to worry about precise edges at this point because everything's going to be cut down. One of these discs is going to be larger than the other when it's turned into a flower. Now, one of these should have more of a yellow center, which will tell me which side is up for that one. There it is. And I think we'll have to cut a new one. Although I suppose I can make this into a smaller one, which will also be useful. A little lopsided, but it'll do. Okay, so we have our two sides, and these will be needle felted individually and then together on top of what this is going to be. And if I decide I don't like that, well, actually I'm going to be using some of this coral to make different shapes in there. Okay, well, we are done for the day because I don't have enough time to make the basic purse today. We're going to come back to that tomorrow. And we'll be working on this all weekend until it's done. Because, you know, that's how it is. So thanks for hanging out with me.